Hasbro are now selling a completely new product that will utterly destroy your game. And it's going to cost you $100 for the privilege. Why can't you just be normal, Hasbro? And of course, no big new D&D news is complete without a ton of people freaking out about this new thing, calling it a scandal and a new low for Hasbro Wizards. But is that a reasonable position? Well, we know that Hasbro Wizards have been trying to figure out how to extract the maximum amount of money from the pockets of players and DMs everywhere. And in that quest, they've now revealed a brand new type of product for D&D, one that they are euphemistically calling an innovation product, a name that obviously doesn't come with sinister implications and clearly wouldn't be spoken aloud by a literal vampire in a Wayland-Yutani board meeting all about killing the poor. Blood! Don't forget to like and subscribe! That's my vampire. Sorry, that's as much as you're gonna get. It's near Halloween. But Hasbro Wizards have been making a really big deal about how exciting this new product is. How a product like this has never been done before. How it's brand new. It's innovation. So wow, geez, it better be good, especially considering that they're selling it for $100. I mean, for that kind of moolah, I'm expecting something like a gold-encrusted DM screen with the words "Playa Hita" burned right into it. Or a button that DMs can push that drops bad role players at their table into a hole in the ground, leading to a pool of acid filled with robot alligators. Or just a monk class that actually works. I mean, I'd take that. So it might come as a surprise to hear then that amongst the flurry of marketing telling us that nothing will ever be the same again, the innovation product in question is in actual fact a deck of cards and a book. Ta-da! You know, something a bit different for Wizards of the Coast, owners of Dungeons and Dragons. And Magic the Gathering. Okay, maybe it's not that different. Right, sorry for building it up like that, but Hasbro Wizards really have been pushing this very hard, and they really have been saying that it's super duper special.
This is a new kind of product. We've never done anything like this before.
And to be fair to them, there is something a little bit different here. Something that really does need to be talked about. And unfortunately, it's not necessarily good, because this new product reveals what the future of Dungeons and Dragons looks like. And I don't think that WOTC know this, but it also secretly shows us where their focus is going forward. Hey gang, Bob Mabon here to let you in on a pretty sweet deal. See, like most people, I regularly travel from country to country committing strange and unusual crimes and evading taxes. PU. And in that lifestyle of a world-traveling international CEO of evil, I've discovered that there's some damn fine television out there. The only problem is I can't seem to get reception for my favorite Mexican soap operas when I return to my evil lair. What with it being on an entirely different plane of reality and all. Well, the answer is Atlas VPN. It doesn't matter where in the multiverse you are, all you need to do is log in, and with the click of a button, the internet thinks you're on the renowned tax haven Nauru. And so does the court system. Right now, Atlas VPN is running a special devilish Black Friday price cut. You can get Atlas VPN Premium for just $1.70 per month, plus 6 months extra. And it even comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Those idiots! Never give money back. You can take this deal by clicking on the link in the description below. Atlas VPN is perfect if you want to protect yourself from virtual bandits while on the internet. This is perfect for all sorts of lifestyles. Perhaps you're an international CEO, or a TV show enthusiast, satanic missionary, global finance manager, world-renowned hitman, weeb, eccentric billionaire, international people smuggler, Canadian, Martian learning about human culture to pave the way for future invasion, anyone on holiday, I guess, and many more. So don't delay. Grab the big deal of Atlas VPN Premium at just $1.70 per month and 6 months extra. And with a 30-day money-back guarantee, protect your privacy for a villainously low price by clicking on the link in the description below. And be quick because it's a limited time offer. Thanks to Atlas VPN for sponsoring today's video. I'm making this fat cat substantially fatter. Okay then, so what's the big deal? Why should we care at all? Well, Hasbro Wizards hope that we'll care because the product is not just any other book. It is in fact a major update to the famous legendary item, the Deck of Many Things. And by legendary item, I don't mean its in-game category. I mean legendary in the context of the history of mankind. Move over Gilgamesh because here comes an adult toy. Unlike many other adult toys, the Deck of Many Things is a cultural touchstone for many people in the Dungeons & Dragons community. And if you've never heard about it before, it's basically an in-game magical deck of cards that is incredibly powerful and has the capacity to transform D&D games like no other magical artifact before or since. It was originally introduced in 1975's Greyhawk and has been around since basically forever, like character creation and racial essentialism. But the actual format of the deck has changed from here to there. Sometimes it contained 13 cards and sometimes it contained 22. But always, it had great power, and unlike our favorite web slinger, no real sense of its great responsibility, because it has killed more games than the player at the table who insists on doing that Chinese accent. Not the Mickey Rooney thing again, Dave. And the reason for this is that in practice, how the deck works is every single player draws a number of cards from this magical deck, often represented at the table by an actual physical deck of poker cards. And depending on the cards drawn by the players, different effects can occur. Players can lose levels, they can gain levels, they can get new spells or magic items. Sometimes weird new flesh men spring up at level 4 created by the deck in front of your very eyes. These flesh puppets will then fight to the death for the party, regardless of the consequences to themselves. But apart from that weird body horror, the deck can also do a lot of other stuff. And alongside the new book, Hasbro Wizards are now coming out with an updated premium version of that deck of cards at a $100 price point. Now, they've also updated the cards, expanding the number from 22 to a deck of 66. Each new card coming with a totally new effect if you draw it. So that's a big jump, and it is a lot of content. And they're also including a reference book in this bundle that's called the Book of Many Things. Extremely imaginative, and that also comes with a bunch of new lore that I'm sure some people might be excited about. Although personally, I can't say that that's really for me. Something that I am more interested about in this bundle though is that there is an included guide on how to use the deck in the game. And I will also give the Book of Many Things this much. The cover art on it is one of the nicest covers on a D&D book that I've seen for a really long time. That all said though, the internet really hasn't been kind to this new reveal. Almost every preview or commentary that I've seen has been pretty negative, saying that the package overall is too focused on DMs, that the $100 price point is just far too high, and that the Deck of Many Things basically sucks. And like my dreams of Grima Wormtongue, this has elicited a lot of complicated, scary feelings for me. Firstly, yes, the book/Deck of Many Things is really focused on DMs. The entire package is. I mean, the new book doesn't even come with much for new players, except for some new backgrounds, a new feat, and just 3 new spells. So critics are correct on that point. And yes, it is extremely expensive. $100 is a lot of money. And while Hasbro Wizards have been pretending like this is some noteworthy new project in order to justify that price point, it's not really true. Once you get through all the marketing guff and gotten past the name the Innovation Product, which truly is the most psychotic name for this type of thing, all that it really obfuscates is that the book/deck/bundle of many things is just a tactile prop. And these have been around in games for time immemorial. There's really nothing new about this. And famously, the Lovecraft Historical Society does really amazing props for Call of Cthulhu. Seriously, check them out. They're still around. And I'm a big fan of these. I'm a big fan of props in general, so long as they're not too intrusive and are used in games sparingly. So honestly, while I don't mind this thing existing, criticism of the price point is totally warranted, especially considering that while the illustrations and artwork on the cards are really nice, and the cards even have a gold foil, the actual cardstock quality looks pretty cheap, and I do say that as a collector of cards. But yes, perhaps the most terrifying part of all of this is that the new bundle is probably going to inspire a whole lot of new people to introduce the Deck of Many Things to their existing games. And let's be clear about this. The Deck of Many Things, it's kind of like broccoli. Everyone thinks they need it, but actually it tastes awful. Don't eat it. Don't eat the broccoli. You don't need to eat broccoli. Ignore your doctor. Ignore the science. You don't need it. And that's a discourse fact you can take to the grave. Like and subscribe. I mean, sure, I get it. Once you're around for a while, you hear all about the deck of many things and you get curious, and suddenly before you know it, you're drawing a card or handing one out like a crack dealer at a work do. Major problem though, just like massive crack consumption, the deck of many things is a fucking disaster for most games. It's really not for the faint of heart, again, much like crack. It's more of a novelty item than an object conducive to fun role-playing. Again, very much like crack. Ask your doctor if crack cocaine is right for you. Like and subscribe. Don't get me wrong though, some of the draws can be fun. Losing a soul, gaining an enemy, suddenly having a fleshy meat puppet whose only purpose in life is to kill at your command. Some of these are awesome, unnerving RPG elements. And if a DM is willing to spend time on making those changes tangible and feel real and material and impact the world and be relevant to the game, then yeah, the deck of many things is definitely for that game. But for most games, I've found that DMs let players draw from the deck, and what happens is either bad for the player, like their character suffers a permanent personality change, or they lose 10,000 XP, or their intelligence stack gets permanently reduced, or all their magical items disintegrate before their very eyes, and then that player simply makes a new character out of frustration because it's not fun to play anymore. Or it's some so-so benefit like a magic item or the wish spell, or the player gains a bunch of new land, and that's nice and all, but otherwise unnoteworthy, because the DM doesn't want to transform the game into one about what does Dave do with his new sheep farm. Or worst of all, the deck is just downright destructive, pulling all narrative from what the players were previously doing. Oh, we were on the road trying to stop Mr. Dark, the Lich Necromancer, from creating an undead army and taking over the world. Come on, we've all played that game. But oh fuck, Greg just pulled a card from a magical deck and now his soul is trapped in another dimension. And that's kind of unfortunate, because a game about trying to save Greg from that extra dimensional prison would be a really cool game. But a lot of DMs I've played with just aren't willing to drop all of their previous plot hooks to suddenly make this new event the main focus of a campaign. And in that way, the deck of many things is widely considered to be highly disruptive to games, and usually a bit of a trap item unless used with extreme caution. But also in that spirit, and with all that said, the fact is, people do love the idea of the deck of many things. So Hasbro Wizards updating the deck, amending it, letting DMs control what cards go inside the deck, and providing a bunch of new cards to potentially create new role-playing situations, and allowing DMs to curate the experience of drawing from the deck to fit the tone of their game. Yes, 100% yes, that sounds really cool. It sounds really awesome to me, and I think it's a good idea. I think it's a great update. I just hope that the new cards are actually interesting, because the ones I've heard about so far seem a bit for example, one of them is the dragon card. That sounds really cool, but then you find out it's just that the players get a pet baby dragon, and that's not particularly exciting. Give me a pet adult dragon. Make me a dragon rider. Make me Khaleesi. You all moved on after Game of Thrones, but I live in Northern Ireland. Our economy was ruined by it. I am surrounded by the ruins of the King's Landing set. We will never forget. Damn you, Season 8. Most of the dragon's okay though. And honestly, while I don't mind these kind of premium products as a release every once in a while, I would like to see this new 66 card deck released separately for cheaper outside the big bundle. That way, even players may buy it, because the deck of many things is a legendary item. I mean, sure, it's a DM prop, but any change to it will reverberate down the hallways of history, like the Spanish flu. And even players are invested in it. And if this new iteration of the deck is contained only within a bundled, expensive package behind a $100 price point, I'm not sure how many people will actually buy it, and therefore whether this new iteration and the new cards will even leave a lasting mark on the legacy of the magic object. I mean, I guess that's sort of what you want from an adult toy. But all that said, if you're not sure if the deck of many things is right for your game, the answer is probably no. No, it's not. Never use a deck of many things without protection. It will destroy your game. Abstinence works. In this specific instance, not generally. Don't build your society around that or anything. And if you really want it but don't want to pay $100, just buy a really cool tarot deck and use that as inspiration for magical effects instead. And then give the remainder of your money to me via Patreon, because seriously, I need to survive. It's going to be a cold winter and I made some bad investments in Game of Thrones gift stores. But hey, I'd rather Hasbro Wizards create these kind of physical products rather than the one that I talk about in this video, so check it out. And a huge thanks to my patrons. Without them, I could not create this content, especially CryptoKev, Novany, and Travis Hunter. Thank you so much, and I'll catch y'all next time. Bye-bye!